Welcome to Let's Talk About Web3, episode 7. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Ohnahji B and Easy, and we have an amazing special guest, Will T, in the building from Kingfisher's Media. It's going to be a blast. We're going to talk a lot of fun things today, but we're going to start with what we're grateful for. And this week, I'm grateful to be here with you guys. And Will's been a very interesting individual who I've met through a lot of different communities, and it was really cool to see that in a community that I didn't know a lot of people jumping in and seeing Will there, being able to then tap in a little bit more with that community was really cool. So I'm just grateful for seeing mutual friends in unlikely communities. So I'll give it over to Easy, and then we'll rock it out.
Right on. I'm actually super grateful to have Will T here with us. Selfishly, because I want to catch up with him and see what's going on. We got to hang out a lot during the Let's Grow DAO super stream on X that went for weeks. We did an Impact concert over there, so we got to know each other. And he does such great stuff and is working with a lot of really great people. So I'm thankful for that, and of course, family and friends. And it's a little side note, I'll be heading from Costa Rica up to California in about a week, and then on towards NFT NYC. I'm rocking my NFT NYC hat today for good luck for the prop that we'll talk about soon.
Dope. Is it on me?
Ohnahji.
All right. Yeah. I'm grateful for just the progress and innovation in space. I'm grateful for the network that we have. I'm grateful for the tools, right? This is an opportunity that we have that's like unprecedented for many reasons, right? So I'm just excited that I get to build with you guys. I feel like I've been in a couple cycles, and I feel like the ramp up's coming, like the winning season's coming, and I'm just grateful to be here with like-minded individuals that are trying to build and help educate people and build tools that help the humanity as a whole. So yeah, for sure.
Let's go. I love it. Let's kick it over to Will. He's going to give what he's grateful for, and then a little intro, because Will's new to the show, and we always want to have our guests be able to share everything they're cooking up in the back end as well. So Will, welcome to the show. What are you grateful for this week?
Well, grateful for a lot of things, actually. One, I'm grateful that I got the invite to join you guys and chop it up about Web3. This is absolutely amazing. And I'm really grateful. We just launched a new program at KFMedia, and it's being really well received within the community, at least for the vocal support that we're getting for it. So we'll talk about that and deep dive into that in a little bit. But yeah, man, I'm just grateful for all of Web3. I've been in Web3 for 5 years now, just over 5 years, and just all the community support and everything that I get on the daily when I'm able to participate in Web3. It's just absolutely, truly an amazing, life-changing experience. So, quick intro about myself. So my name is Will T. You also know me as Will T of Web3 or WillT.tgn. That's another story in and of itself. But yeah, I identify as a Web3 educator. I've been hyper-focused on building educational models that are transformative and transcendent. Of how we can break the societal norms, right, of how we perceive education. And I've been hyper-focused on that since August of 2022. That led me to launch KF Media, or official company of record, Kingfisher's Media, LLC, of which ZAO is a community member and has access to our learning center as well. So yeah, we've been building pretty much full tilt for the last 2 years. We're really starting to get a lot of traction through our programs. We have 4 programs right now in the KF Media ecosystem. All are fully branded. Some have, already brand recognition, like our social audio brand, Kingfisher's Corner. Some are just gaining traction and exposure and awareness to them to where they can achieve the same. So yeah, it's a little bit about me. Super excited to be here, and let's get into it, gentlemen.
I love it. I love it. So I think, to me, this news just broke, I think, in the last 24 hours, but it's definitely the biggest thing I've seen on the timeline right now. But Privy was acquired by, what's the name?
Stripe.
Stripe. Thank you. And I think
Privy?
Privy was acquired by Stripe.
Ooh.
So we saw that, and Ohnahji B was yapping it up earlier today on the Twitch stream. So I popped in there and we shared some thoughts back and forth. And I thought it would be a really good topic for us to start out with, like what that means for where we see consumer crypto come in the future, but then B, like I was talking to Ohnahji B, like, okay, this is now a big corporation. Privy's coming in, what is the details of this? Ohnahji B was saying, there's that they might be just a VC giving them money. They might be starting to integrate it completely into Stripe. So like, those are my initial questions. And then also like with this corporate structure, is it going to be, 8 months down the road, 2 years down the road before someone like me could add my wallet just like I add a credit card? That's what I'm looking for. And I think that is consumer crypto. So I'm curious. We'll rock it over to Easy, and I know everyone's going to have opinions. So
Dude,
Easy, let's hear what you got.
I've barely been online today, just because I leave in like a week, and I'm trying to like. There's so much going on the ground here, and so dude, boom, that's big news. Privy is like a huge important tool for so many people, so many projects, sites, apps, mini apps. Like it's probably the go-to like easiest sign in that's secure. So this is like very much ecosystem wide as far as how much Privy is used and plugged in. So to see a company like Stripe buy that, like I have a little bit of like butterflies both on excitement and concern. I don't want to see big changes happen to how well Privy's been working lately. Like it's been really smooth when I use it, and I often use it to sign into things. So hopefully it's a purchase that's a little hands off, and they'll just like ZAO was saying, maybe integrate payments and stuff like that into the easy logit wallet that exists. So, I mean, those are my first thoughts off hearing it fresh right here. You got the news live.
Hell yeah, B, what do you think? We were talking about it, but like on top of that, right? Like, what does it mean?
It just means,
do you want to actually, for anyone that's might be new, do you want to give a quick rundown of Privy, Stripe, and just like, we can clip this portion of it as like an intro to these two things, because Privy is a huge part of the ecosystem that Easy just said. And I think all four of us know that here, but Ohnahji B was reminding me that not everyone in crypto really does understand the length of that, because they just kind of click while they're using it, not really reading that, that brand of that company that's there, and how important and integrated that is.
Yeah, for sure. Me being an EVM Ethereum maxi, I was definitely like tuned into Privy really early. When account abstraction and that, that protocol change and that upgrade to EVM over, as a whole was pretty big news. What, 2 years ago now? Yeah. Or at the top of last year. And a lot of companies were kind of utilizing that tech. Basically, it just made some more improvements to wallets. But before Privy and before account abstraction, it was, wallets were kind of finicky. You had to be it was like your own safe, right? You had to be really secure with what you're doing, your private keys, your key to lock. If you mess it up, you mess it up, and that's it. Once we, that upgrade to EVM, to Ethereum, kind of give us the ability to have more control over wallets and make smarter wallets overall. So you could actually, we could finally use phone numbers as wallets, attached to wallets for wallet accounts. We can make emails, traditional systems that we're already used to, kind of have that on-ramp into Web3 and blockchain. So it was a game changer. I remember that. And it was a pretty big deal. It was a way bigger deal, way more noise on that upgrade than this recent one that we just had. But I've been following Privy for quite a long time. I was trying to pull up some GPT, get like a quick little history, because I'll go on and on. But yeah.
Well, while you pull that up, let me just add a little something. So I was working for Slingshot DAO for, I think it was like 8 months or something, growing the community. And that was a gaming community where they were trying to really bridge Web 2 into Web 3. And it wound up being like that the focus shifted to Roblox from like Sandbox and other Web3 platforms because the users weren't quite there for the growth that we wanted to see, right? But as soon as they, so the idea was you could submit a game idea, and then the best idea that month that rose to the top of the leaderboard would get funded, pitched to a studio, studios would bid on it, it would get built, right? Then community owned IP, and the person that thought of the idea gets paid some too. But as soon as the focus switched sort of more to Roblox, and then they added like social wallet creation and login on the site using Privy, email, phone, and different ways that you could make a wallet. Boom, 100,000 wallets were created in like the course of like 2 months or something. It was insane. So it's this access point to people that aren't as comfortable, don't know, maybe you don't even have to know really about Web3 or that it's Web3, but you can like create this crypto wallet and sign into these, these Web3 projects through that. And so it's a huge onboarding mechanism as well.
Love it.
And if I could add in my 0.0002 ETH into this conversation, it's like I say often, right? The path to adoption is paved with familiarity. Jeez, can't talk today. But anyways, right? So we have to introduce to non-Web3 natives replacements that are familiar to them of what they're already participating in. Okay, an example, and this is huge for the ecosystem. I've only known about Privy for about 6 months now, but every interaction I have with Privy is a quality one, right? I can obfuscation. I know I'm not saying it right, but basically, it's making things interact with each other that's not obvious of what that interaction is. An example of that. When you log into your banking app, right, you see your account balance, you see your transaction history, right? But do you actually see the banking infrastructure that goes behind that account? No, you don't, right? And this is the way the next wave of adoption for blockchain and Web3 is going to occur. They're going to log in to an app, right? They're going to see their account balance, they're going to see their transaction history, but they're not going to see the blockchain technology behind their wallet, right? So, and Stripe is huge for payment processing. Stripe is the leader in payment processing. We have a Stripe account through my my business consulting LLC, right? And what we use Stripe for, we use Web3 tools to connect our Stripe account so that we can pre-sell in-person events through Web3 tooling. But Stripe is connectivity that allows us to accept normal payments, right? That everyday people are using already. So this is huge for the ecosystem. It's just pushing us further down the road in terms of adoption. We're going to get more people on board. We saw, what was it last year with the ETFs, right? These are institutional familiar products that traditional investors are used to participating in. Now for Stripe, especially when it comes to businesses, the more businesses we can bring on chain, the better off we're going to be overall, because we need to get this to a point where daily digital payments, right, are a thing in terms of digital currencies, right, for everyday usage. And this gets us one step closer to that, because, it's great that we can say, okay, I'm going to use, I don't know, my ETH today to go buy a loaf of bread or go buy some groceries, right? But the mechanisms that are in place right now don't allow for the merchants to accept that natively,
yep.
Right? There's a swap process involved there where they don't even see, right, that they're accepting digital currencies. But when we talk about this sort of integration, now we get more businesses on chain. Now they can natively accept that. We can educate them and they can understand the value.
It's huge.
1000%. Yeah.
Well said. I love it. That was perfect. Paseo said, hell yeah. I love it. I love it. It was perfect to have you on here for this stream. Do we have any last thoughts on Privy before we go into other topics? I mean, this is something I feel like we could all talk about for hours, but
yeah,
there's always lots of things going on, right?
It's like, just to Will's point, I can think back like 6-7 years to when the conversation was basically like, we've got this great technology, where can we use it? And it was so like, you couldn't. It was NFTs and swaps. Then a few years went by, and maybe if you like did a bunch of work or got like the 1 or 2 kind of crypto credit cards that were available, you'd be ahead of the curve and you could use it. But this just widens it up to everybody, and it's huge.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting because I got 3 folks here who've been in Web3, somewhat like double, some of them double the amount of time that I've been here. So when I joined, like L2s were already a thing. They weren't like perfect or anything, but like for me, I was like, okay, why would I spend money on mainnet ETH at this point? Like I came in at a very interesting time. So it's really cool to hear that other side of the experience with Easy. And I'm sure Ohnahji and Will can attest to this, back when they started and got integrated with crypto, being able to then leverage that, off-ramping it in one way, shape, or form, not just through a centralized exchange, but in the form of actually spending that. I think just like the evolution of that is crazy, and like now to the point of Stripe potentially integrating it is huge. So yeah.
And
Yep.
and if I could just add one more comment here before we move on to the next topic, I want to see what is the next step, right? Is there going to be some sort of partnership made with a major publicly traded company like Coinbase, right? It is that integration yet to come, because we already know that a lot of these centralized exchanges are already treating stablecoins same as cash, right? So if that is the case, then what's stopping Coinbase from forming a partnership with Stripe, integrating some level of Privy or Stripe into their platform, right? If they so choose to want to, I mean, maybe they already think, oh, well, we've already got, the best solution out here in terms of digital currency payments for everyday use in the form of our card. But I want to see, what is the next step? What is the next thing to come with this announcement? And yeah, I'm excited for
Coinbase
the future.
wallet, Stripe integration, that would be huge. That would be
Well, this
huge.
would
Or
be a
even with the
great
card,
point.
or even with the card, right?
You're right.
So on Coinbase you can set up a business account, right? But that process, if you have never applied for that process, it's like 13 pages of paperwork to verify your entity, right? But if you already have a Stripe account, and it makes that verification process more streamlined, and all they have to do is verify your active Stripe account. I mean, how cool is that to get more businesses into the ecosystem?
That would be huge.
Yeah, I think on that Coinbase wallet, I have a good left turn, unless Ohnahji B, you want to add any last words on that Privy conversation?
No, I was just gonna say I was looking for an old tweet, and November 13th, 24.
You want to share it up?
So,
You
can
want
I?
to see
How
if
I
you
do
can?
that?
Yeah, let's see. Share screen.
Where?
Should be right there next to the
Oh, we
mic
doing
and
live. We
the
doing
video.
live.
You can just say it out loud if you want, but
Yeah,
I won't believe you unless
short. It
you
was
share
short.
it.
It was short. It just said, I just added Privy, and I said Privy is the one with the fire emoji, and they had commented back way back then, and so I quoted it. I said, "This age like fine wine." I said, "Congrats, Privy." So I mean, yeah, it's we need more of that innovation in the space. Just trying to create tooling that helps everyone. I'll say this. Go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just going to say, hopefully also too, it means deeper pockets for further development with Privy, right?
Correct.
Because I know when I'm not using something that's natively connected to Privy, right? Sometimes there's a challenge with the connectivity with the wallet pop-ups or whatever. So hopefully this means more development dollars for Privy, so they can further enhance what they've already built.
Correct.
Well
Yeah,
said.
Henry Stern, he's the one who kind of broke some of the news. He's been talking over on Farcaster. He said, yeah, it was exactly that. They're going to be able to run pretty much as they are, but it's going to give them, more opportunity, more capital to ship faster, to innovate more. So we're going to see them kind of explode on the scene. So yeah,
That's super
cool.
exciting.
Yep.
Well, I got that tweet up so we can actually prove that you said it. No, I love it. I love it. That's really cool. I think on the Coinbase topic, one topic that I've not seen as much buzz, I feel like, about as I think is this slowly but all at once that we're talking about, is Coinbase wallet integration into Farcaster. I'm part of that beta test, and it's been, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I use Coinbase Wallet as my like mobile wallet. So it's been a little frustrating to swap back and forth between the beta. So I actually haven't played around with it as much as I should. But for the Farcaster feed being there. But I think seeing that Coinbase Wallet is experimenting with social, but not by creating their own network, but by tapping into a pre-existing decentralized network that's permissionless, that you can tap into that social feed and actually leverage all the individuals over there who have already built their social, and have them be able to just move that and port that right over into their native wallet, right? So I think that'll be very interesting because it's actually the first tab on the bottom, as you see. So like if you look at the tabs on the bottom, is the home page is your social feed. So creating that like change mentally from your wallet, from being like just this place that stores money, to a place where you can literally have a social feed and not just of people's transactions, but of people's thoughts like tweets. I think that's going to be a huge lever of people that don't participate in Web3, but participate in purchasing crypto using Coinbase. Because I do think there's a big subsection of those individuals.
Oh, yeah. That's a huge bridge. I mean, that's like a massive floodgate that could open. The way that I got into basically the Web3 community was late 2018. I saw Trust Wallet added I think it was called like Hot dApps or something. It was like the popular dApps when dApps were new, decentralized apps. And I saw Cent, and it was like an Ethereum social network or something. And I was like, that sounds cool. Clicked into it. My oldest friends in crypto are from that platform. It's where I learned about smart contract. I mean, it's where I got my feet wet and kind of I got onboarded there. Now I onboard other people. But so to have, and that was directly through a wallet that gave me the bridge, showed me that door into a social media, community. So if, Coinbase Wallet's doing it, what's stopping crypto.com or, any of the other kind of like, bigger wallet exchanges having social media as a part of their, their platform, their product, a way into these different social media areas. So that, I think that's big.
And I want to draw a line of distinction here so that everybody understands the product we're talking about. So we're talking about the Coinbase decentralized wallet, which is a separate wallet application that you'll find in your Play Store or in your iOS App Store, right? That has connectivity to your main Coinbase exchange account, but it's not the same wallet addressing. The cool thing is when I saw, yeah. And when I saw the refresh and the update and the deployment at ETH Denver 2024, and I'd seen like how much further down the road they were, because when I first got introduced to this product, it was back in 2021, right? And it was just very basic. It was very simple. But now with the enhancements and the connectivity since then, I'm like, oh my God, this is so much better than the original wallet that they developed, right? And now, even today, right? I took some scrap ETH that I had in my Coinbase wallet on my phone, and I said, hey, I want to cash this out because I need this today, right? And it's not much, $5 or whatever. And it's like, hey, do you want to send this to your Coinbase main account? And I'm like, oh yeah. So now we're talking about connecting to social media, and we already know that Farcaster just recently launched the native wallet. But if we're able to easily move funds throughout the ecosystem, right? I mean,
frictionless,
dude, game changer.
Yeah.
You get some tips on Farcaster, right? You send that to your Coinbase wallet, or it's already linked if that's one of your preferred wallets. You can shoot that right up the chain to your main Coinbase account and then into your bank account or onto your card. Like it's all starting.
The longest thing is the centralized exchange of the bank account.
Right. Yeah. So, having it go to your card, being able to use it anywhere that accepts, cards or deeply integrating with Stripe, like it's all starting to sort of, the building blocks are like locking into place, right? And it's pretty cool.
100%.
It's been a long time coming, Sometimes I'm like, I love it for the future, and I'm like, dang, that easy use is awesome. But then I'm like, we had to struggle through all this stuff, but
Mhm.
it's part of the journey. So, and that's the fun of it, for a lot of
That's
us.
the pioneer life, though, right, bro? That's the
Exactly.
pioneer life, right?
100%.
I like to use the analogy, and I actually wrote this down earlier, but it brings it right back, is the like concept of where we are and where we need to go with crypto. And I think we're getting closer and closer there, of the analogy of the crypto consumer wants to be a car driver, not a car mechanic, right? They want to be able to jump in, turn the keys, and be able to use it and trust that this car is not going to break down on the road when they're going 85 miles an hour on the highway, testing it to its limits, where we aren't really at that point right now. You have to know how to be a car mechanic a little bit to set yourself up for going 85 miles an hour on the highway if you want to do that with the way you want to rock out. So I think that concept of trying to create a system where you only have to know how to drive, you don't have to know how the car works and all of the inner workings of it, is super applicable to this space and where we need to go. So I also wanted to tap in with that. And I think there's also another topic that's, again, we're tangentially going by and by limited on the Coinbase side, more Farcaster stuff.
I think you cut out bit out for me. I
Oh.
don't know if it's for everybody else.
Mine
But
froze up for a sec.
yeah,
but-
you were segueing perfectly. I loved it. It was brilliant.
Tangentially. Where are we going tangentially? That's what I want to know.
So I think one of the coolest things that's also happened in the last couple of weeks that we didn't talk about last week is Farcaster adding Solana to their wallet. And that, how huge that is, I think people aren't understanding how monumental that is personally, because the ability to not only now in your social media feed be able to literally click and purchase an NFT in a social feed, which to me is insane in and of itself that Farcaster can do. That's all EVM. Now they're integrating Solana and other non-EVM compatible blockchains, and that is the level of social where they become chain, as they are built on base and this, that, and a third. They're slowly becoming more chain agnostic to allow more individuals to think that this is the social network of crypto, not the social network of base. And I think that's a huge step forward, but not only for that, but now Solana ecosystems to come over and have a social place. We're talking about wallets. Who knows when Phantom Wallet's going to integrate social? They actually just started, I think, their own version of social, but that's building its own network, right? So maybe they'll go the Coinbase route, maybe they'll go their own route, right? But I think that would be a huge next step.
Yeah, dude. I just, when you said that, I wanted to open up my my Farcaster, and I went to GM onchain because it's something I know that just kind of has a bunch of the chains listed. So we've got Celo, Monad, Base, Optimism, Ethereum, Arbitrum, Degen, Zora, Unichain, Polygon, DBank, ZKY Sync, Linea, World Chain, Sonium, GM Lisk, GM Inc., Abstract, like it just goes on, and Solana now. So it's like, it's very impressive, honestly, to be able to use that many networks, that many chains, all within a single, social media application. There's all these mini apps that you can just go switch your chain and interact on all these different chains. There's people being funded to build in those places. What I saw, they had a like an NFT marketplace building challenge over the last couple of weeks. I'm trying to remember who that was by. And so there was rewards for that. Oh, it was a bunch of pro, couple 100,000 pro coin to whoever comes up with the best NFT marketplace, and people submitted. And the cast I saw earlier was like, help us decide who's the winner. There's these two really dope projects that we can't even decide between. So it's really cool to see the innovation happening and just being really fostered over on Farcaster.
Yeah, and I'll say one bit of new news that I kind of discovered by accident. But if you are on Farcaster, and if you are connected to all these chains, like Easy's just illustrated, right? There is such a thing called the superchain ecosystem. for those that may not be aware of it, right? Well, now, and that's basically all the chains that are built on the Optimism code set. They have an agreement that the governance is going to be operationally very similar to how the Optimism Collective does, right? So if you go to the website, and if someone else can pull up the link or whatever, superchain.eco, right? Now you can add an account, and this is kind of built on the forking of what Safe has done. So it's like it creates your own Safe wallet, right? Although it says unofficial product of Safe, right? But with this, you can connect all your wallets that you participate in, even your wallet that's attached to Farcaster, and then you get these badges, right? As you're navigating the Superchain ecosystem, you get all these cool badges based on your participation, and this is directly feeding in to the reputation layer, which I feel over the last, I don't know, maybe not even 3 years, maybe the last 2 years specifically, right, has been slowly percolating. And now we're starting to see it manifest itself into like an actual tangible value representation of our on-chain activity. So when you do it, you set it up with your primary where you have the most activity across all those different chains that are in there, right? Look at that. See, you even get like a noun-ish character
Dude.
for setting up your account, right? This is so cool. So with that being said, then you connect your primary where you have the most activity.
Oh shit.
Then you can add all your other wallets that you're participating with within the Superchain ecosystem, and you can look front page at all the different chains, right? So you'll know, have I been in this chain? Have I been in this chain? Have I been in this chain, right? And then when you do that, that's just going to level your game up. Well, I feel very strongly that this is a pathway to further like individual or even like business entity funding opportunities, right? Because the more you can prove that, like, hey, I'm a high level contributor in this ecosystem, so then any funding opportunities that come my way, I should be able to have access to that funding. I mean, the world's going to be your oyster from that. So I just wanted to kind of bring that in the fold because I thought it was pretty cool. Cello Public Goods has also leveraged this same type of account setup into something called the Prosperity Passport. So if you are hyperactive on Cello or you want to explore Cello or get into Cello, you can do that too. And it's just like, since I think it was Gitcoin, right? A few years ago, they launched the Gitcoin Passport. Now we see that became open source. That got acquired by a credible company in the space that's now being positioned to the Humanity Passport. We've got all these different passport ways to represent our on-chain activity reputationally. So yeah, I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on this because
That was very cool.
this reputation layer is something that did not exist 3 years ago, right? It did not I mean, it existed in that if you knew where to look in the right places, but it was not like obvious, right? It was not intuitive. Now it's becoming intuitive. And now we can evaluate like different people within the ecosystem and be like, dude, you're a super builder, man. You're a super builder, man. I want to connect with you and I want to see what kind of collab we can develop because I need something that needs to be built. You know what I mean?
No, it's huge. And in the early days on some of these earlier social networks, we talked about this type of thing a lot because there were so many projects coming in and not just like little NFT projects where someone might, basically rug all the collectors or something. There was like, coin launches. There were, they have their whole white paper and everything sounds like they're going to do all this amazing thing, build all this amazing thing, do a sale and then disappear. And so and in the early days, there wasn't a way to really judge your history because there wasn't much history. But now that we have this long history, I think that these from starting with the Gitcoin passport and these different passports, I think this is great because it can give you an insight into what somebody has participated in, what they've built, like you were just saying, Will. And so having this sort of reputational score, if you want to say, or being able to look at some of these different passports that sort of encompass somebody's, the amount of time they've been around, the amount of projects they've dropped, or whatever you're looking to kind of gauge, you can have a higher trust based off somebody's on-chain activity to go forward and collaborate with them, or to buy something, a service that they're offering, or an NFT collection that they're, on the team of. Like it really is something that is hugely important. Got to get me some of those batches.
Yeah,
Superchain,
very cool.
what was it?
Hey,
Superchain.
you guys can see that.
That's dope.
I put
Yeah.
it in here, superchain.eco.
Yeah, you got
in the
20
chat.
of the 73, bro. Now, and the other thing about it too, right?
As
So
soon
now-
as I saw that, I was like,
Yeah.
the achievement hunter in me wants to get 100%.
Right. But here's the thing, right? So now, because it's gamified, right, we see all these different questing platforms out there, right? Of do this quest and get this reward,
Yeah.
right? Well, now you can reward yourself through your reputation by how do I get these other 53 badges I don't have already, right? And every badge in there too, I don't know if you noticed this or not, Zal, but every badge in there has like different levels, right? So you can level up
Yeah,
the
I did see
individual
that. That's
badges
very
based
cool.
on your participation. So now it's like, hey, I want to be a higher level contributor in this area for this particular badge because I want to max out this badge, right? So
Super
now
cool.
natively, you've not only got your reputation, you've got questing, you've got gamification, connecting this to, like your Farcaster, right? That would be huge because now you've got social finance in the equation too. It's like all these different little entities or these little bits of Web3 are all coming together and integrating fairly seamlessly and intuitively. And yeah, man, I'm super excited about what this means for the ecosystem.
Amazing. I think one of the things I want to touch on, and then I want to hit it over to Ohnahji B on reputation on chain, is this is like I've transitioned. When I first met Will, I was learning how to pitch what we were building here, whether that be Web3, whether that be what I was doing in music, whether that be like entrepreneurship. And during that process of learning that, I realized that one of the best assets we can create for musicians as technical founders, I think, is creating on-chain open source tools for musicians. And the biggest thing I've seen a need for musicians to be able to have subject matter experts in is on-chain reputation, because musicians as well as artists and some entrepreneurs don't have the time to spend stuck in the weeds of every little thing and like what they're gonna get tripped up on if they're using a platform. So being able to share ways to help build social reputation in the space while not spending hours and hours trying to research is something the ZAO tries to do. And that's been like my primary objective now with the ZAO Respect token, taking that from the Optimism Fractal community, which is again another community that I met Will in. So there's at least 3 different random communities I've met Will in, and then he's introduced me to a couple more to where like now we're maybe creating a low public nouns DAO in the next little bit. So I'm very excited about that too. But that's a lot of ways of saying I'm just excited to be here in this space with all of you guys. I think the on-chain reputation is such an important piece of the puzzle. And I want to hear what Ohnahji B has to say about it. I can't tell. Are you snapping there, Will? Okay, I wasn't sure if you were saying the money, the little money symbol.
Give me the money.
That's awesome. No, I think on-chain reputation is like huge, and it's one of the things we talked about at Ohnahji University for a long time, just because I really believe that, and just seeing all the tech come together, right? Seeing Will drop that gem of, superchain. Is eco, yeah? Yeah, superchain.eco. It's like
Yep,
there's going to be more tools like that to where everything is just streamlined. But with that, everything that we've been doing on chain is going to be conglomerated together as well, too. So it's not like I can go to Optimism and act a fool, or you know what I'm saying? Or I can go, even Solana, right? A lot of people will go to Solana and,
Dude, my
beacon it
first
up.
purchase, meme
Wild.
coins are not meme coins I'm that comfortable with, but I was like, okay, like I understand the
Yeah.
risks of this, and I know that I'll eventually connect my social to it. But to me, it was like, okay, I was testing stuff, so like I'm
Yeah.
also okay with that, right?
Yeah.
But I could totally see, right, what you said. It's like you never know down the line what's gonna be connected where because everything on chain is visible everywhere, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you guys are familiar with OX Designer, but he dabbles in the space. But he's vibe coding, his early vibe coding days, and he built a tool that actually showed, like, you put in your wallet or you put in anybody's wallet, and it showed what meme coins they collected, and and just right there. So it's like, some of the stuff that was, fringe or shock value or whatever, trying to get a
Right.
rise, like that stuff will pop up right to the front. So I think, we talked about that early on. It's like, this on-chain thing, right? It's early, it's in the early stages, but it's a timeline, it's a ledger. That's the whole point of this thing, or a big piece of it, to where, that's important. And the tools that come out going forward, they're only going to just show that timeline. And so, but hand in hand with that, we really talked about wallet security. Like, you don't want to do a bunch of stuff. You don't want to, go through and have all this interaction and then mess your wallet up, have it get drained, compromised. I've seen people on some of these recent airdrops, where they've been building up on different platforms, Zora, whatever, and can't utilize the airdrops because they got their wallet compromised. They switched wallets, and all that work that they did, collecting, making, all that stuff, building, is all for naught because, they didn't keep the wallet safe. So yeah, on-chain reputation is like, it's a huge thing just in like human psychology, just for us in this space. And I think it's a good lesson for us to have to return back to. Yeah.
And
I
I
think
Yeah,
think
well
because
said. Well said. Oh, I was just
yeah,
going to interject here real quick. I think another thing, right, is it's going to make these KOLs, it's going to make these influencers pay more attention to the ecosystem, be more invested in the communities that they're promoting. I mean, we can easily say, to a KOL or an influencer, like, oh, yeah, we're doing this token launch, da da da. Be like, well, what's your super chain ecosystem score, bro? What is it?
There
Oh,
you go.
oh, it's only a 10. Oh, why should I trust you? You don't have any on-chain activity that
and
adds value to me, right?
yeah.
Right?
the reverse to that is, what if we want to look at an influencer and be like, what have you done on chain? Like you're out here, playing the big game, but some of those influencers, they ain't always legit. So like there's the reverse to that too. Like if you want to approach, say, some influencers to get some hype on a really dope team that you're, building a product or a project with, you could then look at their on-chain activity and their reputational scores and be like, oh, they were part of that rug? Nah, like I'm not going to go over there, so it works both ways, which is interesting too. And I always love a quick touch on safety and security. And Ohnahji brought up, people get their wallets compromised, and then you're like basically starting from scratch if that's kind of your like main hot wallet. So it's really important always to just be very cautious. Don't be clicking on a link right away that some mysterious person DMs you at 2 a.m. and it's like this big airdrop. Nah, just wait. Like it's better to miss an airdrop than to lose your whole bag or like to compromise a wallet. It's just not, and it's not worth a small airdrop to compromise that, or one free NFT to compromise that. So you always want to, if there is something that you want to participate in, you go to the official page, you search it yourself. You don't go through a link that somebody tagged you in a tweet, because 99% of the time it's going to be something shady.
Yeah,
Well
and then
said.
kind of in that same vein too, right? Earlier we are talking about the Coinbase wallet and how it's like mobile friendly. So like the way that I operate is like my core wallets are never stored on a phone, right? I'll have a wallet like my Coinbase DeFi wallet that has a little bit of crypto in it, right? That I may need to do something in the moment while I'm like in person or while I'm doing something on my mobile, right? But my core main wallets are all stored on my computer. They're all protected. I even go to these links too, and I don't know if a lot of people do this or not, but here's a pro tip for you.
I'm on a live
If
show.
you're not actively using your wallet, because most wallets are an extension on your browser, disable that extension, right? That's just going to further add another layer of security to your wallet. So disable that extension when you're not actively using it. And that's just a pro tip I have for the day on wallet security.
I love the touching on wallet security. We're nearing the end of the hour here, so I want to share up this Wave Wars proposal, something we're working on with Lil Nouns DAO. Super excited to get more involved there and see what we can do to support them with organization. I think there's a lot of support that can be added there, and I also am very excited to launch Lil Wave Wars for NFT NYC. Let me share it up here, and we can just rock through the prop and share it with Will T here, who I don't know is if he's seen it. And one of our big goals is for Let's Talk About Web3 is to do a couple of shows where we really feature Wave Wars and Lil Nouns. So here's Lil Wave Wars. And essentially, it is going to be a multi-day token traded music battle live series. So we're going to also rock out a new Lil Nouns song anthem with Songs of Eden. So I'm very excited for that. And we're looking to create this Lil Wave Wars creator house. So a little bit about why we think Lil Nouns is a good option is because for Lil Wave Wars is because we see top of the line branding there, where we're going to make Lil Nouns the sponsor for everything, really wear Noggles out everywhere and really teach folks why Lil Nouns is out there, as well as the Nounish ecosystem as a whole. So we're going to create a merch collab as well, and then hopefully be able to do a collectible drop with all of our musicians that perform. So here's a little bit about Wave Wars and how it works. So we're going to have 2 artists enter. Fans can vote with their tokens. Each trade pays creators. So that's a huge part of what we're doing and what we're trying to build here with the ZAO and Wave Wars. They're going to be limited time battles per round. And, you can help decide who wins. So the losers pool gets split amongst everyone, and there's always going to be that opportunity to get involved by using your dollar to vote. And then we got some details, a little bit about Wave Wars versus Spotify, and what the different costs would be for getting some monetization from Spotify versus something like Wave Wars. So our battle flow is going to be 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We're going to be rocking out 3 different competitions with 6 different artists. So that's going to be a blast. With our Lil Nouns anthem, we are going to be creating it out there with Songs of Eden virtually, and we're going to be hopefully using the team to create a banging song, a banging anthem, and then maybe we'll also create a version 2 where we could include all of the Lil Nouns. Anyone who holds a Lil Noun in that, I think Eden would have a blast creating that collaboration as a V2. So maybe that's what we'll rock out next. And some other bonus Nounish activations we want to rock out. A clip to earn bounty at the end for anyone who submits clips from our event, where we're going to be giving away Lil Nouns for those clips. We're going to be having a couple little merch shops, and then I have this little collectibles drop over here where we created for last NFT NYC these collectibles of digital trading cards you could get from our artists. So we want to also continue to do that here with Lil Wave Wars. There's a little bit here about the ZAO and what we do and what we're all about. And our awesome team here of 12 amazing Nounish artists in different ways, shapes, and forms that are all contributing. You can see Ohnahji B, me, and Easy all on here supporting through Let's Talk About Web3. We also got our distribution is going to be similar to here, but we're also going to be going live to a metaverse venue because we know a lot of people will be digital with us, and definitely trying to share stuff out to at Lil Nouns DAO. So we're requesting $20,000 to make this happen and get all 12 of us to NFT NYC to rock out Lil Nouns and showcase Lil Nouns through our days there. So here's a little photo of me on the Wave Wars stage at Miami, where we had our last in-person live Wave Wars event. And we got some risks and mitigations because in case anything happens, we want to be prepared. So would love to make Lil Nouns the most talked about brand at NFT NYC with Lil Wave Wars. And would love to know, Will, your thoughts, and then hopefully if you guys have anything else to add there. We rocked it out, and then we shared a ton of links at the bottom for all of our different things we are working on, because we got a lot of amazing builders out there in Web3, and you can see some of the other collaborative songs that Songs of Eden and the MIDI Punks have created.
I love it, bro. I absolutely love it. It's, to me, with what you guys are doing with Wave Wars, it's an homage to what happened back in the day that was culturally significant with MTV, right? Where you'd have these battles on a live show, right? And you'd have a live audience that would be voting. So it's very reminiscent of that, of all those famous battles that came out of that. And yeah, kudos to you guys. I love the way you guys are building. I love what you guys do for Web3 musicians. And I don't see why Little Nouns wouldn't promote this because, one thing that I learned about East Denver, so one of the communities that I'm a part of, that I'm an active contributor to, right? We sponsored a few events, and um, you know, d the visual representation of the brand for sponsors is like huge, right? And brand placement at an event is huge. Out of the three that we sponsored for ETH Denver this year, 2025, only one of those events took that to heart and gave us prominent brand placement. So if you guys are moving in the right direction, I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't vote for this proposal.
Thanks, Will. We appreciate that. We're stoked to get it out there. And yeah, it'll be a blast. Wave Wars, we got another episode as well coming up noon EST on Friday for anyone who wants to join our Twitter space. We're going to be broadcasting it live as well. But if you're in the Twitter space, you can go in, you can vote, you can come up, share your thoughts on the songs. It's going to be a blast. It's an Afro Beats battle between IO Timmy and Jed XO. Wave Wars going down on Friday. So, little Wave Wars NFT NYC, go vote. And yeah, I don't know if Easy or Ohnahji, you want to add a little or about maybe let's talk about Web3, a couple things we're doing out there, a couple ideas. It'd be great to be in person for a Let's Talk About Web3 episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No brainer for sure. Go ahead, Easy. Go ahead.
Oh man, I'm super excited. Obviously I got my nogs here. Unfortunately, one of my ears broke, so I got to fix that. I got my couple little nounish friends with me that rock their noggles. And no, I'm a huge supporter and fan of the Lil Nouns, of the Nouns, of Nounish values and vibes. And I think I'm really hoping we get the support we need to push this through, because I think it could be just like a really, it's going to be an incredible event if we get the support and can pull this off. We've seen a lot of excitement around the Wave Wars, so branding it Lil Wave Wars and having that support of the Lil Nouns community and getting a bunch of swag, and there's just so much more we want to do with being at different events, the main event at NFT NYC, side events, rockin' nogs, a group of us interviewing people on the streets. We've got shows that just go throughout the week. I've got this show, I got a Monday show, a Friday show, all to sort of bring people to focus around Lil Nouns and the Nounish values. So yeah, I'm really hoping we get the support to pass this, and it's going to be a lot going on if we do.
Hell freaking yeah. Well, this was a blast to be here with you guys. I want to give everyone an opportunity to close us out. I don't know. Will, how'd you feel? You're our first guest, so it's a blast to have you here with us. I definitely think you need to come back up in a month, and we need to just have a little check-in with Will.
Yeah.
Because I think you bring a lot of that same energy with these two individuals, but have a lot of that Regenucator energy that we're a little bit pressed in with. So definitely want to hear a little bit about what you got going on and what you guys are pushing. I saw a Regenucator thing on Farcaster, I believe, and I want you to at least give the three of us a little bit of info on that, because I know all three of us would be phenomenal for it, even though I don't know exactly what it is. So I'm curious to hear.
Well, let's get into it real quick. So Regenucator, okay, let's define that first. So a Regenucator is someone who identifies as an educator who believes the knowledge sharing or the education itself can regenerate itself through natural networks, right? So that is what a Regenucator is. About a year ago, we started building this lore around the Regenucators, and got tapped into one of our friends who's like a high quality animator in the space, right? And so we started building some character development of an animated series. And it was a really fun experience. So he did create like a promo poster for us, like what you'd see like I don't know, kind of like on a movie poster, if you will. And that's what we're using to promote it. But what we're using this to promote for is we're looking for 25 people, right, who can take and teach on a topic in a shortened format of like what a traditional masterclass would be. So maybe 20, 30 minutes, right? And this is to add to our current ecosystem of independent educators, independent content creators, and collaborators within the ecosystem. So that's just building up that portion of our community. There's a lot of value in that down the road and downstream that they'll get out of it, but primarily it gives them an opportunity to be fully have full creative control of what they want to do within what we're pitching or what we've already branded actually as KFM Talks. So this is taking inspiration from TED Talks. TED Talks culturally within society, especially in business circles, have been some of the most powerful talks that have like transcended ideas and concepts and created these shifts in paradigms, right? And the way we perceive things. So we feel we can do the same thing, but do it in a Web3 way. This is our first program we're launching, which is tapping in and doubling down on 100% Web3 tooling, right? So every touch point within this new program has a touch point to a Web3 tool, right? Whether it's we're using Unlock for the RSVPs, whether it's we're using Huddle, which is for those that don't know about Huddle. Huddle is a meeting platform that you can also stream from, which is a decentralized physical infrastructure network, right? Because they have their own testnet backing this up with this protocol. And then we've got touch points into Meet With, which is our official calendar booking service. I just recently dropped Calendly for Meet With because I got tuned into a demo of Meet With and I just thought, oh, this just makes so much sense, right? And then we have the connectivity back to our learning center, which is in Jarvis. So all this program is fully 100% contained on Web3 tooling. And the provability of this that I spoke about earlier today in another community call is that we can prove that we have all the tools available to us right now to where we can be 100% full on Web3. We don't necessarily have to rely on the traditional tooling any longer, right? If we want to be fully immersive in this space. So this is like a test case for that as well. But building our ecosystem because there's going to be some additional on-chain representation of the roles within our community. Zal, you kind of got a preview of this, I think, just that not that long ago. But because we're building our own Hats tree on Hats protocol, so for those that don't know, it's like a company organizational chart of how you can represent the different layers to your community, right? And our community is very layered. So, as I feel most robust communities are that are built for the long term. So they're going to have that reputation factor also that they're a participant at this level, at this layer in our community. But wait, there's more. Actually, if you guys can link the Farcaster profile for Kingfisher's Media to attach it to the stream in the post show or whatever, that would be great because that's going to give people a lot of information of how this program's going to work, what the opportunities are available, what are the benefits. There's a lot of times, and we've been around the space long enough, we know that a lot of people are tuned in to a specific radio station called WIIFM. What's in it for me, right? So we want to make sure that we're giving the contributors the biggest bang for their buck, for their time. So there is also a bounty program that's involved with this. And because it's a standalone program, we can fundraise against this, and then we can do more for the contributors and the participants within this program. So that's just a little TLDR. Apologize if that was a long way to get to the answer, but it's a very robust program that we just launched. We're doing the full launch in August. Right now, we're just gaining interest of people that want to tap in, learn more about it, and want to be a contributor in this. So yeah, let's go. KFM Talks.
Love it.
Heck
Love
yeah.
it. Love it. I was trying to get in and type in the Farcaster handle, but I couldn't get into it. So I don't know if it was down. It was down on mobile and web for me.
Ooh.
Yeah,
It was down
that's
like
okay.
Like Farcaster itself is down?
Yeah, looks like it for me.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we'll definitely plug that
Well,
for sure.
I can just give it out. So on Farcaster, oh
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
I'm pulling it
down.
up right now too. Yeah, but for those that want to tap in later, it's at Kingfisher's Media on
Dope.
Farcaster.
Yeah, I
Okay.
definitely want to hop on board there. It's like perfect. I love the idea of having like that kind of Web3 blockchain TED Talks for people, because there's so much going on that then people can kind of find like the topic they're interested in and then learn about that from someone that's been doing that for, you know, a good while. So it's a really great program. As soon as I saw the cast, I was like, ooh, bookmark, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one thing that like I'm very passionate about, right? So I have a lot of passions inside of Web3, but one thing that I'm like most passionate about is allowing people to giving them a platform where they can tap into their passions, where they can become the best versions of themselves, and they're able to share that with other people that is probably going to have a similar or relevant impact to. So. Yeah, I'm super excited for this. More to come on that. We're curating right now the contributors through the end of this month, and then we're going to have an actual launch party on August 1st, and then start recording the sessions. Let's go.
I
Nice.
love it. I'm super excited to get involved. And yeah, you can always ping me if you need any help with anything. It sounds like an awesome initiative. I think it'll be really cool to have that like Web3 style of TED Talks and like to that production quality. So like it's something that you could share out to your traditional folks that you want to onboard in one way, shape, or form. And I think that's a great opportunity to like really be able to just dive into a topic as opposed to like these very short form clips that are out there that take over. But yeah, I was very appreciative of being here with you guys today, episode 7. It was a blast to have you here, Will. And yeah, thanks, Easy. Thanks, Ohnahji B. Any last words?
Oh, thank you, Will, for joining us, man. First guest, milestones, baby. So shout out to you for sure.
Yeah, could not have had a better first guest, in my opinion. Always love to get to hang with Will.
100%. Well, we will all see you next week. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Easy. Thank you, Najee B. Thank you, everyone who joined in today. I see Candy, Chad, and Moonbeam, a couple other amazing folks in here. So just want to say shout out to everyone listening and watching, and see you next week.